Hello everyone, Danny here today to talk to you about John Maxwell's book, The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. This book was my first introduction to John Maxwell. I originally read the print version and then later got the Audible version. It is read by the narrator, John Maxwell, and he is an excellent narrator. This is one of those where you're really glad that the author himself is doing the narration. You get to hear his own inflection, letting you know what he finds more important than other things. This book goes through each chapter. It's a short book, 3.5 hours, something like that. So each chapter is 9 to 10 minutes long on average. And he will take a law. Some of the laws have to do with what makes up leadership, like the law of influence. To be a leader, you have to have influence. Some of the laws are things that you yourself need to develop within yourself, like the law of character. Some of the laws have to do with things that you need from other people, the law of respect. You need other people to respect you if they're going to follow you. Some of them, the law of, I'll call it the law of momentum, although that's not the term that he uses for it, are things that you need to be able to develop inside your organization if you want to get people to follow you. Each chapter tells you what the law is, gives an example of someone that John Maxwell identifies as a leader who was very strong in that law, and gives you a bit of their story, what made them strong in that law, what made them a good leader. He uses some really good characters in the book, people that I knew of and had heard of, but really didn't know that much about. I mean, Harriet Tubman. I've heard of Harriet Tubman, but I didn't know hardly anything about her other than, she helped guide runaway slaves through the Underground Railroad. I learned quite a bit about her in that chapter. And then after he gives someone who's an example of exactly someone who, personifies that law, he then further breaks down the law into, if you want to gain people's respect, I'll stick with Harriet Tubman. If you want to gain people's respect, these are the 5 things that he believes you need to do or to develop within yourself or to develop within your organization to improve that law, to make yourself someone who personifies that law. It's a classic in the leadership genre. Most leaders that I know of, if they take leadership and their ability to lead seriously, at least serious enough to have read and to have tried to improve their skills, have read this book and have used this book. John Maxwell is someone who is known all over the world. He puts on huge seminars. You can talk to CEOs of major companies, and they've attended his they've attended his seminars, and they know who he is, and they listen to his advice. Definitely recommend it for anyone. And it's one of those books where you don't have to be in business to utilize the book. Most of us, whether we realize it or not, are in a position of leadership. If you don't recognize the areas where you're in a position of leadership, then you need to step back and you need to look at your life. Unless you're living in a bubble completely cut off from all humanity, you have people who look to you for leadership. I'm a husband. I'm a father. I have people who look to me for leadership. I'm a brother. I'm an uncle. I have people who look to me for leadership. Within my company, I'm just a truck driver in my company, but I've been here over 10 years. I have other drivers who look to me for leadership. The things that I do will impact how they do their job. If they see me sloughing off and slacking on my job, well, Danny's a slacker. He's been there 10 years. They love Danny. I guess I don't really have to do my job all that well. If they see me driving like a maniac, it will influence them. And people need to realize that. We all have areas in our life where people look to us for leadership on one level or another. My leadership within the company would not be as strong as, our supervisor's leadership, quite obviously, but it's still there. And so you can take a book like this and you can read a book like this, and it can help you to be a better spouse, a better parent, a better uncle, a better sibling, better in your church, better in your job, better wherever you want to be. The better you get at developing these skills, the better your life will be. I honestly believe that. If you have any questions, comments, or feedback, please send it my direction. If you like my channel, please subscribe, and have yourself an absolutely wonderful day. Thank you.